Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be looking at 5 alcohol secrets that they don't want you to know. And when I say they, I mean the big alcohol companies. What are some facts? What are some secrets? What are some things that they're not really portraying or they're not really putting out on the table? And how can we use these facts and these secrets to our advantage? Because if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you'll know that I always talk about building a paradigm where you see alcohol for what it is, without the illusion, without the conditioning, without the idea of it being a good thing. Because once we can see alcohol at its core, when we can see it as ethanol, it's like the desire to drink goes away, because we see it the same way that we'd see chlorine in a swimming pool or bleach. I don't want to put that in my body. I've got no desire to drink that. And that's where I want you to get to. That's the mindset that I want you to have. That's the mindset that I have. And that's why I make these videos. And really, if you're on your journey and you're trying to stop drinking, make sure to stay tuned to the 5th point, because I think that one is going to really hit home for so many people. And guys, just before we get into those secrets, if you want to get access to the free video training that shows you how to apply first principles thinking to control your drinking without AA, without willpower, without rehab and therapy, then make sure to click the link in the description. There's a short video that I've created that really shows you how to apply this style of thinking to get immediate control of your drinking. So click the link in the description to watch that video after this one. Now, the very first secret is that alcohol is ethanol. The same stuff that you're gonna do industrial cleaning with, or cleaning, your kitchen with, that is the exact same stuff that is put into these bottles. However, we don't see the ethanol, right? We don't see the toxic substance, like the skull and crossbones. We don't see that on an alcohol bottle, right? We see sophistication. We see good times. We see this great branding. We see this imagery. And I'm sorry, but it's ethanol, right? It's a highly toxic substance that if you drink 1 neat pint of ethanol, you will die. That is what alcohol is, right? It's not a good time. It's not this beautiful brand. All alcohol is ethanol, and it does nothing for anybody. It doesn't do any favors for you. There are no benefits to putting it in your body, and that is all that it is. It's ethanol. And most people, when they're going to the supermarket to buy their beer, to buy their wine, to buy their whiskey, whatever they're buying, they don't see ethanol. They see beer. They see wine. But really, all they're doing is drinking diluted ethanol that's laced with sugar and chemicals to dilute the taste of the actual ethanol itself. And that's all that it is. It's a highly toxic substance, it's a highly addictive drug, and it is doing nothing for anybody. Which leads me to the second point, and I was kind of touching on it then, but the second secret is that the marketing of ethanol is a complete illusion. All that it is a drug, a toxic substance that, like I said, does nothing for you. But then when we see the way that it's portrayed, the way that it's marketed, we don't see that, right? We see the people on the beach with the pina colada or the Malibu, and then we see the Malibu bottle, right? The actual branding of that is like, the sunset. Or we see the advertisement for maybe a beer where there's, a celebrity, a charismatic person that's macho, and we see the beer to be associated with this. We don't see, the fights. We don't see the black eyes. We don't see the broken knuckles. We don't see the broken relationships. We don't see the kids that are smelling the alcohol on their breath. We don't see the cripplingly low self-esteem. We don't see the impacts on health. No, of course not. We see a brand. We see an image. We see something that if we buy that product, we align ourselves with that. It's an illusion, because all you're doing is buying diluted ethanol with some, something in it to mask the taste of ethanol. And the way that it's marketed is a complete illusion. It is nonsense. It's a lie. And you've got to be able to see these advertisements and really just snap out of it, right? See the advertisement and ask yourself, is this really what I'm buying? Am I really buying success, charisma, happiness? Come on, let's get real. You're not buying that. You're buying an illusion. All you're buying is diluted ethanol, a poisonous drug that does nothing for you. Which leads me to the third secret. And the third secret is that giving up alcohol is not difficult at all if you do it the right way. Now, we are obviously led to believe, and we live in a world that will make you believe that it is extremely hard to stop drinking alcohol, right? It's going to require tons of willpower. It's going to require tons of self-control. And if those methods fail, like if just using willpower fails, then maybe you're the problem. Maybe you were born some weird way, and that's why you can't control your drinking. Right? Maybe you're born an alcoholic, you've got a different genetic makeup, you've got an addictive personality. Basically, if you don't have enough willpower to stop drinking on your own, you become the problem. This is not true, right? We just live in a world that sees alcohol in a good way. So then when you try to stop drinking it, you're going to be told that you're crazy. You're going to be told that you should just moderate. Why would you ever want to stop in the first place? Then when you try to stop and you fail, you're like, well, maybe you've got low willpower. Listen, when we build a paradigm where we see alcohol for what it is, when we see it as ethanol, as poison, it is not hard to give up, right? If all of a sudden people started drinking bleach tomorrow, if everyone was drinking 5% bleach, 12% bleach with grapes, and they called it wine, would you start drinking that? Of course not. What happens if everybody started saying, but it tastes nice? You'd just be like, well, obviously it's not the bleach that tastes nice, you fool. It's the grapes that are in it that are masking the taste of bleach. And then they all started saying, but I just relax after drinking this bleach. You'd look at them like they're crazy. You wouldn't find it difficult that if you were to drink that and then you realize you were drinking bleach, would that be hard to give up? Of course not. You'd give it up in an instant because you see bleach as a toxic substance. You see it as something that does nothing for you. You've not been marketed from the day that you were born to see that somehow drinking bleach will enhance your life. You've not been told by your parents, your family, your friends that when you're 18 or when you're 21 in the States, you get to drink bleach. You become an adult. That's what happens now. You're an adult now. You can be like us. No, that's not the case. And when you can build this very solid worldview, it's not hard to give up alcohol, right? I failed for 10 years, right? I tried many, many times. And it was just over 3 years ago that I had this shift where I didn't want to drink anymore. But I had a drinking problem for 10 years and I found it hard for 10 years, but it wasn't difficult to give up when I saw it in this frame of mind. And if you need help doing that, make sure to click the link in the description. You can learn a bit more about the Sober Clear program, how we use first principles thinking to build that paradigm. But you could just get stuck into this channel. There are like almost 300 videos on this channel helping you do exactly that, building out that new worldview. Which leads me to the fourth point. And the fourth secret is that most people do not realize that they are addicted to a hard drug. Now, I was actually just talking to a friend of mine and he was mentioning about how when we were in high school, we, in England anyway, we get shown these videos of hard drugs. And I remember watching this video in one of these lessons where we were at about that age, maybe 15 or 16, where we're starting to get interested in smoking cigarettes and learning about weed and learning about alcohol. And we're just kind of maturing and becoming adults. And these are decisions and these are things that we're going to encounter. So in this lesson, in our school, it was called PSHE. We got shown these videos, and I remember this video where the characters would like start smoking some weed at the park, and then basically it all progressed, and then they ended up being addicted to heroin, right? And I guess it was showing like the dangers of drugs and how it could lead to a gateway and all of this stuff, but not once was alcohol ever shown in these videos. It was always these hard drugs. Yet, I don't know this, but the teacher of the class probably drank alcohol, right? Because most people do. That many of the teachers at school will have drank alcohol. Probably a few of them had a drinking problem. But they don't talk to us about that. We get shown these hard drugs that we need to avoid because they're going to mess us up. But with alcohol, we don't see that because most people don't realize that they are addicted to a drug. They're doing something that they don't really have any control over. They're just kind of stuck in this cycle. And when they try to get out of it, it pulls them back in even stronger because that's the nature of drug addiction. Now, I was under no illusion that I knew that it was a drug, right? When I was drinking alcohol, I knew that I had a problem. I knew that it was a drug. I knew that if I drank one, I'm probably going to drink more. And I knew that it was a chain reaction that I had to break. I had to get myself free from this chain reaction that had been going on for 10 years. But that's the thing is most people do not realize that they are addicted to a drug. A lot of you people that are watching this video right now, you might hear me say that, and that just might make you so uncomfortable that you turn it off. You say, sorry, Leon, but this is too much for me. And I make no apologies for that because this is where it starts. It starts with questioning your behavior, questioning your patterns, questioning your beliefs around alcohol as a substance. Like, what the hell is alcohol really doing for me? If you can ask yourself that, eventually you will come to the same conclusion that I've come to, that it does nothing for you. It never has, it never can, and it never will. Which leads me to the fifth and final secret of the video. When you remove it from your life, if you have taken the right approach, if you have that solid understanding, that solid worldview, you will not miss it when you give it up. Because there is nothing to actually give up, right? All you're doing is removing something that did nothing for you in the first place, and you're just making an exchange. You're exchanging this drug, this toxic substance, for a life of freedom, of happiness, of great energy, of great clarity. You're making an exchange. And when you realize there's really nothing to give up, and all you're doing is exchanging one bad thing for a great thing, for a great life, you realize that you don't even miss it. Now, I know that sounds hard to believe if you've tried many times in the past and failed, and every time that you've tried, it's been very difficult, very challenging. But that's why I say, build that paradigm, build that worldview. You need such a solid worldview where you see alcohol for what it is that when you go about life, you're not going to be influenced by other people to drink again because you just know that it is doing nothing for you and nothing for them either. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed these secrets. Like I said, if you want my help, click the link in the description for more details on the program and how I help people and all that stuff. Have a great day.